Well, it's late, but you know, I got lights in the shed here, so I can work out here late. And it's a little warmer than it's been lately, so I thought I'd do a little work on the car. I was thinking I was gonna come out here and maybe put kingpin bushings in this thing and start painting the frame. I'm gonna be putting the shock mounts on the front and running brake lines pretty soon. But I got to looking at it and I discovered something I don't like the looks of much at all. And I think it's going to cause me to have to flip this frame upside down and do some welding. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm going to try to get the camera at an angle where maybe you can. You see the bottom of this piece right here? This, I'm talking about this piece. Right. Yeah, it's hard to point. This piece right here. This is the crossover piece on the front of my hot rod. This is what the front spring is resting on. This is welded here, and it's welded here. It is not welded at all underneath. In fact, it looks like somebody built this from the top down. I need to flip this thing over and fix that kind of thing. If there's welds on this car like that, I need to fix them. There's a piece of, this frame is boxed here. And what got me looking at it is I want to close this up. I want to put a piece of metal in here and close this up. But when I got to looking at how this comes in here, this is a big old piece of pipe just runs flat into the boxing on that frame. It's welded on one side and that's all. That's just not good enough. It's got to be better than that. So maybe what I'll do is just flip the frame over. Once I get it upside down, I'll be in a good position to touch up all the welds on it, paint it, and go from there. So maybe I'll just do that tonight. I guess the other thing I'll do while I'm out here is take these little things off. I have no idea why they're here or what purpose they serve. They just look like extra metal to me. Probably, maybe, they might have mounted some sort of body part to this thing back at some point, but I can't see it. The other thing is this cross member. This is a good looking cross member right here. Totally almost useless. The motor doesn't sit on it. Maybe originally it did, but it doesn't now. The engine sits up there on those two mounts on top of the frame. The transmission should fall right back here. I don't think I need this mount that's in the center to tie the frame rails together. They're good and strong and sturdy. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be able to pop it out. I know that they are mounted right opposite of where the radius rods come to, but even still, I'm just thinking that taking that out would make more sense than leaving it in there. It doesn't serve any purpose. It goes up under the motor. I doubt if I'd ever drop the oil pan off the motor in a car, but if I did want to get to anything under there, that would be right in the way. So if there ain't any purpose for it, why not get rid of it? Now I'm thinking maybe I'll cut that out and cut that piece off the back. Once I get this cut out, I can go ahead and box up the frame right here. I actually think it'd be a lot stronger boxed up completely than it is with that cross member there. So that's what I think I'm going to do. Okay, there she is. Frame's upside down. The cross member is out. Those funny looking pieces of metal back there are gone. This actually looks pretty good. John, who I got this from, said his dad built this frame. He did a pretty good job. I'll have to hand him that. There's a few unfinished spots on it, but you know, that's the way you make a hot rod. You do what you can do, and then you do what you need to do, and then you do some more, and eventually you get it all done, I guess. By having this upside down, this is a perfect place for me to fix stuff like this. I'm going to put an extra brace across there and tie that up real good. I want it to be about as solid as any part on the car. Same way back here, I'm looking at things like this heck of a big cross member in here. I don't know if it's necessary, but since it's there and it don't hurt anything, I'm going to weld the back side of that up good where that isn't welded. Same thing, a little body bar back here that the body kind of curls around when it's in place. That's not welded on the bottom side, so while it's upside down, I'll weld that. Once I get all this stuff welded up, then I'll flip her back over. And the other thing I'm going to do while it's upside down is I'm going to paint it, because it's hard to paint up anything that's upside down. So once I get my welding done, I'm going to paint the whole bottom side of it. Then I'll flip it back over, and we'll work on the top side of it. So, well, this is a good place for me to work on some of my own welding work there. Look at there, that could use a little touching up right there. Maybe a good time for me to look at these shocks. They got to come off. I got to replace those, so probably a pretty good time for me to get that loose and everything. So that's a pretty good day's work waiting for me tomorrow. See, there's another little spot that could use some welding. Almost anything that's welded on here can use some touching up from the bottom. I don't know if this cross member is going to stay here. Depends on where the tail shaft falls on my transmission. I don't have it yet. Yeah, see here, these radius rods? That's another spot. A little welding will go right there. So tomorrow morning I'll come out here and I might pop this front end right off. Set this thing up on a couple of barrels and weld her all up and down good, and then start piecing it back together. But that'll give me something to dream about tonight. Y'all have a nice day.